Macmillan Audio presents Frank and Ava in Love and War by John Brady. Read for you by Adam Grupper. No one ever tells you what it's like to love and lose, how it feels to waken and have breakfast with the blues. Someone tells you later, all is fair in love and war, but no one ever tells you before. No One Ever Tells You, by Carol Coates and Hub Atwood. Recorded by Frank Sinatra, Los Angeles, April 9th, 1956. Capitol Records, A Swingin' Affair. Arrangement by Nelson Riddle. Prologue. This is a story of love and war that begins in the 1940s, Hollywood's so-called golden age, when celebrity and stardom were different from what they are today. It is a story about a love that was real, not a publicist's arrangement. Love between two of the biggest stars in the world. It was a time when no paparazzi lurked around corners, until these two stars came along. It was the era of flight, but not jet flight. It was a time when there was no internet, no television, and all phones had cords. News, if you heard or read it, was usually received the next day, or the day after that, and by then, it hardly mattered. The Depression was winding down, but it had left devastating scars. Poverty and struggle were evident everywhere. Kids signed up for the military, lying about their age, because it was at least something to do. It was work. For relief, there were radio and the movies. If you wanted to see a movie, you went to a theater, which 95 million people in a nation of 132 million, did at least once a week. There were some exceptions, but movies weren't really that good. They didn't have to be. They were the only game in town. And because the studios that produced films also owned the theaters, they could smugly guarantee that none would do badly. Movie making was a billion-dollar business, the sixth largest industry in the United States. In Hollywood, the studios were called dream factories, emphasis on factories. Stars were like factory workers, certainly well paid, but not celebrities the way they are today. There was no actors' union then. Even the big stars were treated like studio property. In one 4-year period at Warner Brothers, Humphrey Bogart acted in 29 gangster films. It was work. Sex was different then. It was a powerful motivator. People often married for it, and marriages lasted longer. There was no birth control pill. For many, there was only abortion, and that was illegal. Families were often large. Only 1 in 6 marriages ended in divorce. In Hollywood, though, the marriage rules were different and lightly enforced. It was an era when the caddy was king, and nighttime glamour was an evening in a dinner club with a band and dancing. Sex was everywhere. Hollywood was where promiscuity prospered, long before the love-in 60s and the swinging 70s. On location, nothing counted. Onto this playground came Ava Gardner and Frank Sinatra. In Hollywood, their ambitions and sex drives found their place. Everybody was fucking everybody, said Ava. Maybe it was the war. Frank was married at the time, which made her a home wrecker, and so there was notoriety.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?